so it's time to hit social media for cash tags. For that, we'd like to welcome in Landon Swan, the co-founder of LikeFolio.com. And we have Jenny Horn here with us as well to talk one of these retailers that's going to be reporting earnings, and that's TJX.
A big retailer, yes. They have earnings pre-market tomorrow, and I actually was doing some research on this company to compare them to, of course, your Targets, your Walmarts, to see. It's really interesting because they've actually increased their shopper volumes for 20 consecutive quarters, which is something that neither Walmart nor Target can claim. So whatever they're doing in this space, they're doing it well. We were kind of talking before the break, Landon, about how really they have this treasure hunt experience at these stores, which you can't recreate online. So I'm curious to see if your data has any reflection of that.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's sort of a Five Below kind of take. You know, you would think that a company that just like Five Below sells trinkets and things like that wouldn't be able to compete with Amazon, but you don't know what you're buying before you walk in, and the treasure hunt, that's a good way to put it. And I think that applies definitely for TJ Maxx and Marshalls, and Home Goods as well, which are the three big brands of TJX. And when we look at purchase intent for this company, we've got a 90-day moving average here in green with the stock price in that sort of light blue or gray color. You can see that stock price is right at all-time highs. I think we're maybe $1 or $2 off of all-time highs. And purchase intent is booming. It's doing really well. You can see last year it peaked around this time, or maybe a month ago this time last year in October, but it's fallen off. And this year it's kind of holding. And so we love to see that. We see very strong purchase intent. We also know that from the, where the stock is trading, we think this could be an expected good quarter. And so we think the quarter's looking great, but we also believe that analysts may think the same thing. So we're really not sure how they're going to react to earnings. Here we're looking at a quarterly purchase intent chart, and you can see we've got highlighted the quarters from 2019 and this year. And so one thing that you'll notice is the very far right bar, we kind of discount that one. That's sort of the pace. But the second to the farthest right, 20Q3 there, that's the one that's about to be recorded. We see a nice small bump year over year, a good gain quarter over quarter. But again, I think a lot of this is expected. And so how analysts read this earnings report is going to be really important for the call tomorrow.
Landon, you can say what you want about the retail and retail winners and losers and all these different topics. But when you go to malls with Nordstrom Racks and TJX and Discount Shoe Warehouse, what is it, DSW,
yeah.
And all these places, these lots are a mob scene. There's one very close to my home, and they're mob scene every weekend. And I think people, what Jenny and Alex said is legit. You can't click online on these names. You got to go to them. And it's pretty amazing how when there's winners and losers in retail, but the discount retail, everyone seems to be doing well because those are the places you have to go to, and it's name brands marked down for sure.
Yeah, they're immune kind of from the Amazon effect we talk about all the time.
Right, exactly.
Landon, building on that, though, from what I'm hearing, then if I'm just listening to this and don't know much about these companies, I would assume that has to be a lower margin business. What's the real growth in that particular, side of that, or how confident as an investor to invest in something with a lower margin business? But, if they're immune from some of these fundamental changes within, that's certainly a positive. But I guess a further question within the data, you mentioned some of the different brands that are under the TJX Companies Holdings Corp here. You mentioned Home Goods. You mentioned obviously TJ Maxx. I believe Marshalls is another one. Is there strength in one in particular more so than the others, or are you seeing kind of a broad strength in all their brands?
I think that Home Goods is the one that's struggling the most. TJ Maxx and Marshalls are kind of carrying the load. They're doing the best. And so those are the ones that I think investors are going to focus on. Maybe Home Goods can turn it around, but right now we're seeing TJ Maxx and Marshalls be the strongest. And that whole discovery, the treasure hunt aspect that you're talking about is really important. And maybe one day a company like Amazon can recreate that online, but it seems a lot further away than it used to be. If you told me 5 years ago that you'd be able to, people would like to walk into stores and not knowing what they're buying, and Amazon wouldn't be able to touch that's really surprising, honestly. And so you see these big department stores really struggling because they don't offer anything different than Amazon, but the ones that have that discovery aspect, like TJX, like Five Below, those kind of companies are doing really well because people like to walk in, touch and feel, and see what they're going to buy, and they don't know what they're buying until they walk out with a lot more goods than they planned on spending.
All right, let's do a mini little survey here. How many of the people on this panel have been to TJ Maxx?
I have been.
TJ Maxx, you have?
Yeah, not for a while, but I've been.
Okay, how about Marshalls?
I have been. I shop a lot. I've been
Okay, how
all
about
of
Home
them.
Goods?
I've been
You
to
have to
Home
have been at
Goods.
Home Goods.
I grew up in
You can't have an
Nebraska. I don't know
apartment.
if we have.
You can't have an apartment in Chicago and not have gone to Home Goods.
We have Amazon for that.
Oh.
I'm probably part of the problem. But, it's funny because actually on social media today, Lynn and I saw a lot of what you're kind of talking about. People love to talk about their good deals. I saw more mirror pics in TJ Maxx than I have on basically any other topic. So our first tweet says, TJ Maxx can take all of my money. And this was the general theme I saw on social media today. People love to walk in and they spend more than they originally anticipated because they didn't really have a plan going in.
It's the I didn't know I needed this, but apparently I do
Yeah, like
kind
the
of purchase.
candles are apparently very popular.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I haven't been, Landon, I don't know the last time you were in TJ Maxx, but the candles are very popular.
Not that long ago, actually.
Oh, come
Just
on.
kidding.
On the
No,
way to
I've
work
never
this
been.
morning, Landon.
But yeah, exactly. But you know what happens is these people go in, they spend $400, and they brag about how they saved $600 somehow. So
Right, does that
it's all
ref-
about that sale price.
Does that reflect happiness at a store like this if you guys are watching that? Because there's that sense of maybe got one over on the company, or I saved all this money, that makes me feel good, or is there anything at that?
Oh, absolutely. People love saving money, or at least the perception that they're saving money. And generally speaking, they are saving a lot of money because these are retail brands on an off price. And so people love that, absolutely. And they love getting those deals, Saving money by spending money is a big trend with consumers.
Yeah, people love to tweet about their good deals too. It's remarkable. But our next tweet is from Will, who says, I don't shop at Costco or TJ Maxx, but I have a lot of family members who do, and they love it. Great selection, pricing, and service, and both stocks are outperforming the S&P. Customer service is the new Buffett moat, in my opinion, and should provide great long-term returns. So, Kevin, what we talk about a lot on this show and across the network, I believe, is the retail winners and losers.
Sure.
Do you think TJ Maxx could be a retail winner this year?
Absolutely, because I think you're not talking about high-priced retail with high margins that could be under attack. You're talking about these are Ralph Lauren polos marked down 40%.
Yeah.
I mean, and these are all name brands. These are not, how do I say this? These are not clothes that aren't name brands. These are high-end name brands.
Right, they're not
that
cheap
getting.
quality.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Well, and Landon, as we wrap this up too, and we talked about how maybe 5 years ago we'd have thought that Amazon would be kind of fighting this battle. And I think maybe Walmart and Target coming in and really racing them for this one-day shipping has shifted some of their focus away from some of this too, maybe buying them a little bit more time to play a little bit of defense and build out this moat around their companies that the tweet's talking about. But you mentioned also that the analysts and the street is fairly in tune with how well this company is doing too. So as maybe generally positive about TJX, are you looking for maybe a sell-off on good results as a potential buyer of the stock at a lower price?
I mean, if they did that, yes, I'd definitely be a buyer. I'd say that we are cautiously bullish on TJX here. We do think they're going to report a good quarter, but I don't think we're the only ones that think that. So it could be a good quarter, and you never know how the analysts respond to that. So if they do sell off, yeah, I think I'm a buyer, but overall cautiously bullish. And I think you're right. They've got time. Amazon has bigger fish to fry with Target and Walmart coming at them. And so they're I think TJX and companies like that are way down the list as far as priorities for Amazon. So I think they've got some time to take advantage of this treasure hunt type of mentality.
And remember what Amazon attacks, right? They attack high margins. Mm-hmm. They attack middlemen and they attack high margins. This is not, they are protected from that.
Yeah, I think it's well said. Landon, we'll leave it there. Cautiously bullish, and we'll see what happens when they do report, of course, here in the next morning. So thank you for joining us, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Have a good day.
All righty, Jenny, thanks to you as well.